Hey, Planeswalkers, Mythras here. Hope you're doing well and staying safe. Today we got a fun top deck. This one again is a Platinum to Mythic, 6+ wins. Also an archetype that we have not checked out for quite some time, so very excited about this. Now, quickly, we'll cover the main board. We'll talk about the sideboard today. We'll pull those both together for how to guide for best of 3. And then we'll go play some Mythic Magic in both best of 1 and best of 3 as well today, Planeswalkers. Now, before we get started, as always, a huge thank you to you. I truly appreciate your support. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. Additionally, like the video if you like it. You can like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter and Twitch. Stay up to date on daily content like this. Other ways to support the channel down below in the description. I also have my Untapped profile, so you guys can follow my journey and the companion app there, so you can share yours as well. All right, Planeswalkers, let's go ahead and check out what we have going on today. Well, we have an Izzet Control deck. That is right. The last time I ran Izzet was about a month ago, and that was a deck that looks slightly similar to this, but different. And this one's a little bit more on the control side, whereas the other one was called the Izzet 2 Draw. You guys can check that one out, or Draw 2. That one was more heavy draw. This one's obviously more on the control, which is counter and direct damage. So, Planeswalkers, this deck list is available for you down below in the description, so you have access to it right away. Additionally, the deck link is there, and if you do have questions or comments, let me know down below. Always happy to help, and additionally, I have a Discord server available for you as well. Now, before we get started, one last note. I do have timestamps down below available for you as well if you want to skip to a portion of the video that you would like. So, first off here, Izzet Control. It is the blue and the red, or the islands and the mountain colors of the Magic color wheel, giving us Izzet, and that's a guild from Ravnica. And then it's a control deck because everything is all about suppressing our opponent in the early and mid-range game and giving us some opportunity to kind of close in late game. But we still have the ability to do chip damage, obviously, and continue to control the board and win that way as well. So very excited about this one. I think we're going to have a lot of fun. We see one of my favorite cards here again from Ikoria that we ran for Christmas Naya deck as well, you guys. So you can absolutely check that one out. But let's do our quick flyby here, and we'll come back and talk about each of the cards. And then we will go ahead and talk about the sideboard, how to sideboard, and then we'll go from there. So first off, we got Spike-Filled Hazard here. This is a mortal land, deals 1 damage to any target. A lot of people forget that, so you can always go to the face instead of hitting a creature. If a permanent was dealt damage this way and would die, exile it instead, or we can have it come in as a tapped mountain source. We also have Opt, so this is scry 1, draw a card at instant speed. Great for hand smoothing and drawing for certain cards that we may need an answer on. We got Essence Scatter here. This is counter target creature spell at instant speed. We also have 2 more here. Now, obviously, little formatting stuff going on with that Ikoria there. We have Frantic Inventory. So this is an instant speed spell. It's a draw spell, but when we cast it, we then also get to draw cards equal to a number of cards named Frantic Inventory in our graveyard. So we get it stacks over time. Very powerful there. We have Jawari Disruption here. So here we can counter spell unless this controller pays 1. So a nice slip. And then again, it is a modal land, so it can come in tapped as that additional island source if we need it. We got good old Negate, so we can counter target non-creature spell. We have Scorching Dragonfire, so here we can deal 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If that creature or planeswalker would die this turn, we exile it instead. Then we also have Shatterskull Smashing, so a very powerful mortal land here. Deals X damage, divide as we choose, among up to 2 target creatures and or planeswalkers. If X is 6 or more, double that damage instead. And then again, it's got that Pain Land style where it can enter. We can pay 3 life and have it come in untapped, or we can have it come in tapped. Couple callouts here. Just as we're going through it, you could always play the direct damage card or the 3 to creature, and you can shuffle out a card and draw 1. That's always a good option. And then the other thing here is you could play the modal land for blue as well, where you can essentially have infinite cards in your hand, which also pairs well with Frantic Inventory. A much later card, but something that you may want to consider in this deck. All right, so we'll keep going. We got Mystical Dispute here. This is great. We got an instant speed counterspell that's a slip. They can't get out unless their opponent pays 3. If it's a blue spell, we get to pay 2 less on this. Really, really nice against the counter magic matchups, and then obviously anything running blue. We got good old Brazen Borrower here. This guy's an adventure card. At instant speed, we can return target non-land permanent and opponent controls to its hand, and then we can flash this in as a 3/1 flyer, but it can only block creatures with flying. Then we got good old Bone Crusher here. This guy deals 2 damage direct to any target at instant speed. That is the Stomp adventure there, and then that damage also can't be prevented. We can also have this enter as a 4/3 giant, and if it does become the target of a spell or ability, it deals 2 damage to that spell's controller. We have Storm Wrath. So Storm Wrath's a great board wiper in red. It deals 4 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. Then we have Shark Typhoon. So this nice card here, we can either cycle it and get an XX blue shark creature token, where X is the pay of the cycle. And you can always cycle this to not create a shark as well. And then additionally, if we do have this as our enchantment, we can have it enter, and anytime we cast a non-creature spell, we're going to get an XX blue shark creature token. And then we have Godzilla Doom Inevitable, also known as Yadaro the Wandering Monster. So this was the guy I was talking about. Really, really like this card. It's fun when you get it to work, and we got it to work with the Naya deck. So happy to see it here again in our control version. It's a great top-end card with a lot of good options for us. So this guy's got Trample and Haste. We can cycle it for 2. Whenever we cycle Yadaro Wandering Monster, shuffle it into our library from our graveyard. If we've cycled a card named Yadaro Wandering Monster 4 or more times this game, put it on the battlefield from our graveyard instead. So really, really nice top end. Got a lot of good early speed stuff to help us control the board and take advantage, or kind of get a couple 2-for-1s as well. And then we do have our mana base here, which is pretty good. We got 16, then obviously we got additionals through those modal lands that we talked about already. 3 here, 3 here, and another 2, giving us 21, 24. It also helps prevent flooding, which is really nice. So then when we go into the sideboard, we're going to look at this now for our best of 3 matches. We got Soul Guide Lantern. This is an artifact. When it enters the battlefield, exile target card from a graveyard, sacrifice it, exile each opponent's graveyard. And then for 1, we can tap it and sacrifice this and then draw a card. So you're going to play this against mid-range decks like Kroxa, mid-range, any discard deck, any Lurrus deck. You can play this nicely against the Rogues decks as well. So lots of good spots for this one. Then we have Shredded Sails, so destroy target artifact or deals 4 damage to target creature with flying. You can play this against Rogues, actually, works well there. You can also play this nicely, where you should play it, against Gruul Aggro. This takes out Great Henge. It also will take out a Cleave. You can play it against Mono Red for the Cleave too if you'd want. Also is not bad. Again, against mono green food decks for the Great Henge and some of the other stuff there as well if you need. So nice card. And then obviously again with that direct damage to flying if you need that. Then we got Mirror Maid. So here's a new one that we haven't covered in a while. Mirror Maid, it's an enchantment. It enters the battlefield as a copy of any artifact or enchantment on the battlefield. So where does this work well? I like it against Doom decks, actually. So kind of funny and nice play there to kind of really change things up on your opponents. Also works well, again, against anyone running Great Henge, like the Gruul Aggro decks. You can have it if you want to against and get a Cleave, but you don't run a ton of creatures, so you might not get the value out of that. Again, anything running enchantment decks might not be a bad one, like I said, like the Doom decks. Then we got Sea Dasher Octopus here. So this guy's got Flash, it's got Mutate. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, we get to draw a card. I like this against some of the mid-range and late-game matchups. It's not bad against the early matchups too. If you want to catch an opponent off guard, that could be a consideration. So there are a couple different spots where you can play this one. Again, I like it against late game, like Doom decks, flash in at the end of your turn, those kinds of things. If you need to, you're in decks, also dimmer control decks, not bad spots. And then if they do get an Ugin down, you can always flash this in and go from there too. Then we got Phoenix of Ash, so we got a Flying Haster here. It's got Fire Breath for 3. We can pump it +2/+0 till end of turn. We can also escape it for 4 and exile 3 other cards. This will enter with a +1/+1 counter on it. Works really well against rogue decks. So C-Dash would work decent against rogue decks as well. That's kind of where I'd play this one anytime that your opponent's trying to mill you. Also, if you do need something to go over the top, this isn't a bad one. It can help you against the Gruul Aggro decks at times. I've always found going over them tends to work once in a while. And then also even against things like Mono Red, if you wanted to. Definitely against late game decks. Works well against Doom decks because you can sack this and bring it back, obviously. So those are some good spots for you. Then we have Soul Seer. So this is a really popular card, making a pretty big comeback. It deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker. That permanent loses indestructible until end of turn. Works well against mono white life gain. It will take out good old Heliod. Works well against the mono green food decks. Obviously great against creature decks. Great at the top end against Gruul Aggro decks. Takes the Lovestruck Beast off as well. So lots of nice places you could play this against Yorion too, take Yorion off, all those kinds of things. Then we have Storm's Wrath. So here again, we talked about this. This is great against the aggro decks, great against creature heavy decks. Mono Red, Boros Knights, Boros Warriors, Winata decks that we've just done. Those Naya, Mardu, whatever you name it, you got it. Works well against rogues decks. Plenty of spots for you there to play that. You just need to make sure you kind of figure out how you're going to want to play, if you want to go the creature side or do kind of the 2-for-1 card cast there. So that is the sideboard planeswalkers. Now we're going to talk about how we pull these both together in our best of 3 guide, or how to, and we'll talk about from an aggro, a mid-range, and a late game match. So first, against the aggro lineups, you're definitely not going to probably want to run the negates. This is strong, these are strong. Counter target creature spells are strong, these are good. So that's at least 3 that will pull off. This is good. Mystical Dispute might not be as good. It might help you in some of the late game stuff. So that could be a 6 change up there. And then you could really, what I would probably do is focus on trading more than 1. So you can run the Storm's Wrath, depending if they're bigger, you can run Soul Seer. I also don't mind, depending on what you're playing, either a Phoenix of Ash or a C-Dash or Octopus again for the draw, and going over the top. But again, just pay attention to how you're kind of taking out multiple cards there. And then again, if they're running Luris, Soul Guide Lantern. So those are 2 good spots to kind of consider. I would start with Negate, honestly, and then I would determine on the Mystical Disputes. But if they are running blue, you can keep that. And that's how we're going to play that lineup. Should be able to hold the board or hold the fort pretty nicely with what we have going on here, and then really hit in with that top end a little bit later there. Then when we get into the mid-range, these are going to be things like Abzan, it could be Sultai, it could be primarily the one that you see a lot is Rakdos. So Soul Guide Lantern against a Rakdos, you're probably going to run Shredded Sails, potentially, if they are running like a Great Henge, which you can see in like Mono Green Food, those kinds of things. And then obviously the Gruul Aggro deck as well, but that's more of a aggro-y deck, obviously. You may want to run Mermaid, and then again you may want to go Soul Sphere or Soul Seer, or some of these things. So let's go like 4 to 6. You're probably actually going to keep the negates, depending on what it is that you run into. I would consider, you probably might drop out more of the Essence Scatters actually, so that's a 4 spot there that you can flip in or out. You may even want to consider dropping a Spike-Filled Hazard. It might not be as good. That way you still have access to some of the other colors, but that could be a consideration for you. And then Storm's Wrath you may drop as well, so I'd go Storm's Wrath over the Spike-Field. So that's a good consideration there. Unless they're more creature focused, then you can go that route. Then last but not least, we're going to have late game decks. These are like really control heavy decks like Dimir. Could be very a different control style, like a Doom deck, the Yorion decks. That could be Abzan, Mardu. It can be Esper, those kinds of things, Orzhov. Esper in particular, you want to make sure you have the right counters for Dance the Mance, as I always like to say. But in this case, what are you going to switch out? You're probably going to move out the Essence Scatters. You're not going to need those as much. You'll probably keep these, and you probably won't need the Storm's Wrath, so that's at least 6 cards. You may run Shredded Sails, again, if they're running some artifacts. You may run Mirror Maid, something like I said that I like. I also don't mind these 2 in there. And then depending on what it is, again, you might want to run the Soul Guide. So that's a good 6 to 8. Again, you can go 4 here, 2 there, gives you 6. And then you can kind of figure out how you want to move around depending on what you're playing, but you might not need to go all the way to 8. So Planeswalkers, with that said, that was the main board, that was the sideboard. We talked about how we pull those together in our best of 3, kind of how to guide for aggro, mid-range, and late-game matches. We're going to hop into it here and go play some competitive Magic. Very, very excited about this one, as I said today. Pretty pumped to be back with the Izzet because it has been a while since we played it. There's that Naya control deck that we talked about yesterday for Christmas. So you guys go check that one out. But we are running the Izzet control deck today. So lots of control. And we will go from here. Now, as always, Planeswalkers, just a big thank you. I really appreciate your support. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. Additionally, like the video if you like it. You can like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Twitch, stay up to date on daily content like this. And additionally, other great ways to support the channel down below in the description, like becoming a patron or a YouTube member. Always appreciate that as well. All right, so I like this. I like the colors that we got. So we're going to keep it, and we'll go from here. I'll go here. Hopefully, we'll see what we got going on there. I don't necessarily just want to use Jawari Disruption if we don't have to. So we're going to have a Mono Red Aggro deck here. So we're going to have to really consider how we're going to play. So we got creature counters. We got Jawari Disruption. Now, I may hold Jawari, because that will still get us to 3, and play the Essence Scatter, but it's going to depend on, obviously, what they are playing. So we'll hit them like this. So we still have 2 counters. Not going to hit anything there. So if they do cast something here, we'll block it with the Jawari. There we go. Would have liked to have the kill spell there better, but beggars can't be choosers. So we'll see what they play. So we could have tried to cycle Godzilla or Yadaro there and hope to get another land, but we'll take the risk out of that, which is why I did not change anything here, and we'll take the 3. That's ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. We don't have the right counter on that. Ouch. Again. Oh, we need some lands. We're gonna do it this time. There we go. Not helpful. Let's look. We don't need that. We need a land. There we go. So as long as they don't have lethal here, we'll be okay still. That is 6. It's pretty easy to get lethal off this. There it is. So very, very fast Mono Red deck. Did not do well. We actually would have needed, on this particular one, we would have needed more general counter spells that were not creature based, which is kind of surprising. So how it goes though in Magic, so let's go ahead and do our next best of one. We did have, you know, the responses that were needed in this deck just did not hit what we needed to there. We got Odo Vassar here. Our opponent's going first, so this time we get some good draw. We can take things off the board if we need. We were a little stunted again on the mana base last time. So we got a Gruul deck here. So I'm going to do this first, so that I can hit that next turn. Well, we'll see if they cast something else first. We won't get greedy off the bat, but then we'll play Frantic. We'll hit that now. So we'll wait and then we'll draw. So unfortunately we don't have any counter spells again here. Rather interesting on the draws today. They got quite a bit. That's going to be a problem. Everything's out of Reach of Storm's Wrath now too, which is a real issue. So what do we need to do? We need we can play this and give ourselves a red. Okay, so then what we do is we do this. And then we spike this one. Again, we still don't have any counter spells. We can go to 6. We can put Short Typhoon in. There we go. Which is what we will do. Oh, bummer, bummer, bummer. We need a board wipe. Let's see what we can hit here. Or Yadaro. Didn't matter. We didn't have enough to get through it, to be honest. Now, I mean, we could have played the Brazen on the human, and that would have slowed him down a bit. I actually miscounted on the Yadaros. Well, it doesn't matter now. That would have went over us. So good game there. We're not going to sit around and get hit by the cleave. Unfortunately, just not hitting the draws that we needed to here in our best of 1 today. We didn't have the right counters. We didn't have the right stuff. Even if we would have got the Brazen Borrower off, they still would have got the cleave off, and they would have had Questing Beast, so it didn't really matter there. Next, we'll go ahead and play our traditional standard rank. Again, there's that Mythic Control. Hopefully we can recover today in terms of our best of 3 match, Planeswalkers. So excited about this. Oh, we got JR2. All right. So this guy was just at like top 500, pretty good player as well. So super excited to be playing this guy. All right. All right, let's see. What do I want to do? I'm not going to keep this. This is so much worse, but we're going to keep it. I'll dump it Essence Scatter for now. Look here. Keep that. This is pretty funny. Super funny. All right. There we go. Let's see here. Oh, are they playing an actual Shrines deck? We'll find out, I guess. We'll do this. Oh, yeah, we're gonna hit you. That's a dead card. This we need to hang on to. Alright, counter again. Should be a good matchup for us, playing counter here. This deck doesn't run any creatures. We just gotta burn them before the Sanctum of Fangs gets us. We're gonna have another one. No, they're gonna get plenty of redraw there. We will push it. There we go. Finally, we got our blue card again. We'll keep that. That's going to be helpful again. There's the land one. And the plains. There you go. There you go. We got a lot of dead cards in our hand against this one. But we know what they are playing. So we just need to figure out how we want to play. Don't need that. Well, the damage isn't the worst thing, but we want to get to the Yadaros, I think, or counters. Kick that one back again. Gonna make an army of flyers. We're in trouble though. They got nice 2-turn kills. So one of the only outs is this guy on this deck. So realistically, that's one of the only things we have to counter. We'll see what they're playing though. And this deals damage to target creature or planeswalker. So we don't have to worry about that one as much. The two that we're gonna want to keep off are those. It's not going to matter. We'll go into the next one here. And what do we want to play? So we're going to take these out. We're going to take counter target creature spells. Negates would be nice. Not going to matter. Run Mermaids, run the Phoenix, and the Dashers. So let's see, what do we got for counters? We still got a couple negates. I'm going to be a little bit more on the aggressive here in this lineup here. All right, let's go ahead. J double R2. Yeah, this I believe they hit #1 Mythic at one point over the past year. So congrats, J double. We'll play first. There we go. We got something we can play here. We'll keep this. I'm gonna play my island first, and then I can decide on what I want to do with my other. Probably end up going red, but we'll see. I can deal with that. There we go. Now we can go red with this one. Now, the only thing I should have done there, so it was actually a slight misplay and me playing too fast, was run the reds for the Godzilla, so now I'm actually one behind there. Oh, shoot. That's alright. There's really only two that I need to counter. That is one of them. There we go. We'll double up there. I don't really care about that one. So we still have our counter spell if we need. This just helps them smooth out their curve too. Remember, I don't care about that one either right now, because if they hit Phoenix, it's not going to matter. Ooh, that matters. We still got one. We'll resolve it. Nice job. Good sideboard. Ooh, Claythos, there you go. A little look here then. Don't want Crusher. Ooh, look at that. Good boarding.
Compassion and understanding.
Unless it was main, but I don't think that was main. That also hits planeswalkers. Well, actually what we can do is 5. We can do this. We'll mainboard this. How do I want to play that actually? Well, let's do... Claythos back. Turn that in. Well, we can do the discard, I guess. That's right. Forgot about that one. That's fine. 4. They'll have plenty, so that's why we didn't worry about the Jawari.
To open the mind, you must first open the heart.
Could cycle. 2. 2, 4. It's not enough. Let's take a look. That works. Actually gonna hit him while he's on the stack, so he doesn't down 6.
This is so irritating. We should, if we get Mermaid and copy Clythos, because that'll be pretty funny. Breathe in. Exhale.
There you go. So let's do some looking here. Oh, do I want another one of those? Let's go battlefields that give me 3. Let's do it. We will do it. It's expensive.
You must change your ways.
We'll keep it like that for now. I think Jawari's probably a dead card at this point for sure. They got most of what they need, so we're gonna have a hard time coming back. They have enough to tap down Yadaro. We didn't get any of the counter stuff that we needed early, which was unfortunate, and they got a better board state than us right now.
Enlightenment begins within.
Hmm. Yeah, they got plenty of reload. Plenty of control on the board. We don't have board wipers. Oh, painful, 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 painful. Oh. Our Mythic, Platinum to Mythic Izzet Control deck failed us today. Unfortunately, that is how it goes. You can't win them all.
Let thoughts flow like river rapids.
Is the greatest virtue.
With courage, goodbye. Your heart can overcome any.
There you go. You gotta get 1, 2 more. Can you do it? One more? Oh! Almost. It's kind of funny. Alright. I'm just happy. I'm going to get Narset off the board hopefully here. Well, should we take both of them off? Let's maybe try that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll take them both off for fun. 1, 2, 3, 6. Oops. Because we can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. There we go. We'll do it because we want to. And we'll go from there. Oh, they had a counter. Oh, that's all good. I'll make them play it out. So what they'll do is they'll tap down both here or Clythos on the stack, obviously. So all good, super fun. Either way, I did lose to a 5-color Shrine deck, but that's alright. We'll live. No feelings hurt here. Alright, Planeswalkers, that was what we had for today. Unfortunately, a bad start coming off of Christmas here. Dropping from 91 to 89, or maybe 92 to start. Ooh, terrible. I'm going to have to do some work to get back in there for us. But that is fine. We did get to check out the deck. Again, this is the Izzet Control deck, my friends. So we lost both best of ones. We lost best of 3. Pretty interesting. Just did not play well for us today. Is a little slow. Some of the higher card value stuff we didn't quite get. Storm's Wrath's nice. This deck could hold up a little bit better against some of those aggro ones. We just did not hit it well. We didn't have the counters that we needed to hit against the Shrine deck. Once it built the value, we couldn't quite get back from that. So with that said, Planeswalkers is what it is. Is it what it is? Is it? Something like that. Anyway, but with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed it today. Again, sort of a bust, unfortunately, but that is how it goes. We still love to check out these decks anyway because we want to see how they play. If you got questions or comments, let me know down below. Happy to help. And as always, huge thank you, Planeswalkers. Really appreciate your support. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. Additionally, like the video if you like it. You can like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter and Twitch. Stay up to date on daily content like this. Other ways to support down below, like becoming a patron or a YouTube member as well. And Planeswalkers, you stay safe. We'll see you again soon. Unfortunately, I couldn't even get Yadara moving for me today. We were close. I counted on that one match, but hey, that's how it goes. All right, Planeswalkers, stay tuned. A lot more cool stuff coming your way. More decks to come. So, all right. Until next time.